Alright guys, back again. In this one we are going to pull Orange Roughie out of the corner where he's been sitting for the last year or so, and start doing some work on him. We have been doing a voiceover video on my brother-in-law's Lightweight 1700, which we were going to continue with, but I think we're going to pause it because what we're doing in this video with Orange Roughie, or the next few videos, is pretty much the same thing as we were going to cover off on my brother-in-law's Caravan. So we'll keep that one till a little bit later, but for now we'll go and drag it out of the corner and have a crack. Poor old Orange Roughie. He's been sitting in this corner for over a year and we just haven't had a chance to do anything to him at all, really. Even the drawbar, new drawbar is starting to get surface rust on it, which isn't really a biggie. So it's time to drag him out, see if these tyres will air up, because they're looking pretty sad, as is the rest of them. Parked beside the Panorama. Still haven't had a chance to do anything with that either. Well, I've had a chance, but the market's so depressed that I put it up for sale, but we didn't really get any interest. So rather than selling it cheap, which is just a waste after all the work, I'm just going to wait till things get a little bit better. So probably next few weeks I'll put that back on the market again. We've actually taken it away a couple of times too, just on short trips. It's been awesome. Anyway, let's drag this poor little puppy out of the corner and put him in the workshop. Poor little puppy, look at the state of you. I mean, it didn't look good to begin with, but a year outside in the weather has not done it any favours at all. Just got to decide what we're going to do with it, how far we're going to go. Yuck. Ugh, maybe I should have water blasted it first. I might do that. Anyway, so rear panel is really good on this. Should I replace it or shouldn't I? There will be some dents in it. They're not expensive. And Dave down at Caravan and Motorhome World just folds up new ones. They're probably 150 bucks or something. Not sure. I do have new panels made up for the bottom, so they obviously definitely need replacing because they've disintegrated down at the bottom. Question is, do I then replace the center panels? To be able to get to the top rivets up here, that's actually under those orange panels, so maybe you can just bend them up out of the way a little bit to be able to get to rivets. Maybe not. Don't know. I'm going to take that flashing off because that's got, somebody's tried to paint that before and it looks bloody awful, so it needs to be sanded back and then polished. Top molding, that has to come off because you just reseal them as part of a restoration. So I mean, we're going to have flashing off, top molding off, all these moldings off. It's actually pretty easy then to take the orange panels off, at which point it's probably really easy to take that panel off as well. So some decisions to be made. Knowing me, I'll probably end up doing the whole lot. And if I do, we could actually rewire the Caravan, which you can't do without taking those panels off unless you want to take the interior panels off, and I don't want to touch those because I want to keep the interior as it is. So if we took all those panels off, then you could run new wiring, possibly even go solar on it. You'd have access to all that sort of stuff as well. Got to think about an awning light. There's sort of nowhere to put one on this one. set possibly on that panel there, but then it would only illuminate the back of the Caravan. That's something to think about as well. Front panel, that's just a sheet of aluminium with a fold on the bottom. It's pretty straightforward as well, so definitely replace that. That one looks a bit second-hand. And that side is not much better. Replace those front grab handles. Windows will have to come out. That one's broken. Polish the frames, replace the rubbers, which isn't a very exciting job, but you'd be crazy not to do it. When I do take these panels off, under there is going to be ugly. I know that before I even take the panels off. So I'm picking the bottom of the frame ends rotted out. I've got all the materials to do that as well. So first things first, let's get it up on the hoist, start popping these mouldings off, and then we'll pop a couple of these panels off and just see what we've got, and we'll make a plan from there. Even though I can't be bothered because I'm getting lazy in my old age, I brought it outside to give it a water blast because I'll only regret it later. But this bloody jockey wheel keeps falling off, and it has like a washer and a circle up. It happened in the shed, like literally 5 minutes ago. Just put it back together. Really? And yeah, it just keeps falling off. So I'm gonna put a hole in that with a drill press and put an R-clip through it. So I'll just quickly do that. So I've given it a water blast and spent about an hour mucking around with that bloody jockey wheel, which I'm going to have to replace anyway. So today, and you'll notice we've got mics too, so hopefully the sound is a lot better because it's been quite bad on previous videos. But today is going to be about a couple of hours work, and we're just going to take these two panels off so we can see what's in below. Normally with these mouldings, you drill them all out, but we're replacing these panels anyway, so we're going to get a sacrificial chisel and just hammer them all out. And the important thing is that you mark them as soon as they come off, so you know that they go back in the same place. And these ones look like they're being chewed up by a dog, but we'll straighten those out. They're pretty soft, so I'll have a crack at that. Just thought I'd show you this. Like I say, it takes forever to individually drill all these things out. So with a chisel, as long as you get a small one, put it on an angle, that quick. And then you can, and if it gets a bit hard going, you just resharpen it again. And then once the moulding's off, you just get like a little punch and just knock them all out, nice and easy. Right, I've been just sort of gently working away, trying to get to the top of this panel so you can see where the rivets are. There's one there. Most of these rivets are from the moulding. They only put a few into the actual body itself. I've undone those, and this, you'll see here, that front panel is just hammered over. So I'm just going to go through and loosen up a couple of those and get underneath it. Okay. And then we'll just slowly sort of bend this out of the way. In fact, we won't film it because it's a bit boring. We'll come back in a minute. I've drilled the rivets out of here. I've gently gone in there just with a chisel to get rid of any more. Now this, because it's hammered over there, we need to get that back. Now you can sit there and go with a screwdriver, but it's not really, well, in my opinion, not the right way to do it. So I've got it from the bottom and I'm just using a hammer and a dolly. And once you get from there, you can just sort of work your way up, and it'll just, you just start from the bottom, you see how it's flattening out. So then you've got, if you come around here, you see there it's folded right out of the way, because there will be, see there's one there, a couple of rivets just in behind, because this panel goes on before the front one. So I won't film all of it, but that's, to me, as a tidy way of doing it. Also, I'll do it on the other side, and that gives me, I can then accurately measure the width of the front panel when I put a new one on it as well. So if you come around here, you can see there, that panel's nice and flat all the way up. It's out of the way, which means we can get these little last couple of rivets. And then once I've done that, I'm going to be ready to pull this panel off and see what awaits us. All right, we're nearly there. Now I've got no idea myself what's under here. I guess what it's going to be. Not pretty, but I just wanted to take it off while you guys are watching, and then we can see what we've got. You always get the temperamental ones. One there. Let's bring the hoist down a little bit. Okay, looks like it's about to come. One there. Use a chisel for that puppy. There's one right there that's been a pain. Right, see what the lightweight looks like with its clothes off. Wow. Wow, wow. Okay. That I was fully expecting. That's normal. That is immaculate. All there is mint. I really didn't expect that. Really didn't expect that at all. I expected all this to be really rusty. Look at that. Unless it's been replaced before. That's 52 years old. No, that's an original panel, so that must be original. Even that, look at that. That's nothing. And this, all that is easy. This bit, I'll show you. (1970s) insulation. That's immaculate. Although even saying that, I do have some new splash panel to put on it. I'm impressed. This was at the beach for quite a long time, this thing. See, look at those. I thought they were gone. To be honest, that's... Look at the framing in there. Can you get in there? Look at that. That's all mint. Wow. I spent 15 years right next to the water. Okay. It's going to be an easier project than what I thought. I shouldn't talk too soon, but so far so good. Right, I'm just going to grab something and I'll show you. Won't be a sec. Right, my brother-in-law recently just acquired another, he's a plumber, already has his own business, but he's just acquired another one to sort of suck into his existing structure. But the business he bought has got a warehouse with a 2400 wide sheet metal folder and a guillotine, which is gold for projects like this. So this is just galvanized sheet metal. So we made that, cut it, folded it in half, and that is going to replace these things here. So basically that's your splash panel, and behind that is your chassis rail. So what I did is I made up these for that. Obviously they need to be cut down, so that sort of will come around the other side. That'll come down from the inside once it's cut down, and I'm sort of wondering whether I should do it. I probably should, because that's a bit munted on the bottom. But if I cut along there, and behind there will be the chassis rail, and then I can just rivet that straight to the chassis rail at the correct height. And then on the outside, this one gets attached. And then your panel, your new panel, which we've got inside the Caravan, gets attached to those. And that way the bottom of the walls is all like brand new. I mean, this is anyway. So I can take that bit off, possibly. I'm not sure if I'll bother, because I could probably just get a wire wheel and go through that with some rust killer. That's actually just surface stuff. And the bottom have come around behind me. I really was expecting all this to be completely rotten, and I was expecting those to be really bad too, and they're just not. And the inside panels are riveted to these, so I might be able to put like an extension inside there or something. We'll see. I'll have a play with it. But that's really, really good news. Look at that. These are normally rotten. They're normally completely rotten. And what I should have done is scribed a line across there. I'll show you. I'm going to put that other panel, I'll just temporarily screw that back on so it's watertight, because the last thing we want is all this getting wet. What I should have done is got my cut-off wheel. You can see where they've marked it back in the day along here. But I should have put some little cuts along there, just so even after, because I'll put rust converter over this and paint it. So after I've done that, I've got a guide to where the top of that new panels go. But yeah, that's the best one I've seen. Like I say, normally they are completely rotten, and that's just not. That's really good news. All right. Okay, you might have to come in close here. Just been focusing on what we're going to do with some of these bits. Like that's a little bit rusty on the bottom. It's still quite solid. Now that's spot welded to this. I started drilling those out, but then thought better of it. So what I'm going to do to fix that is I'm going to cut it off about there. It's all really nice solid metal. Above that, that's only surface stuff, as you can see there. See where I've just put the wire brush wheel through it? So that's strong as. I might even cut it down a little bit. No, probably about there. I'll wire brush it and see. But what I'm going to do, hang on, I'll just get these. This is some stuff that Dave McRobbie makes up at Caravan and Motorhome World, which is just a bend like that. Now, the purpose of this is you'll cut two pieces and they slot inside there. So this one's, can you see that? Should have taken this panel off. This one's a little bit short, but I'll probably go up to about here, and then I'll rivet into these bits, and I'll rivet through this panel because this panel's down below the seat. And that, so I put one there, and then you imagine that's still there. Another one will go on that side as well. we'll cut that scaly stuff off there. So you're going to have really solid metal all the way down to the bottom. It's going to be strong as. So that's what we're going to do there, and that's galvanized bent steel, so that's super strong. This splash panel, although it's absolutely mint, I am going to replace it. And this here, if you zoom in on that, that's just a cover that goes underneath, so you've got something to rivet these to. So I've got some galv sitting right there. So I'll just cut a new one of those out and put it on. That's once I got this panel on, which has been a pain in the ass. Now here, here's my angle. So once I put this new bit, I'm going to put that bit of framing on there, on the base, there. Then I'll replace this splash panel. Then I'm going to run this all the way, and it's going to go all the way up to about here. Now if you have a look at that, can you get in there? See how mint all of that stuff is? So I'm going to cut that off probably about there, because that's all nice and solid, even though it's got some scaly rust on it. That is solid. So I'm going to cut that off about there, and I'll run this all the way up, and I'll put tiny little pie cuts in it so it'll bend and curve up to there. Then I will probably cut a new piece of that and come down here over it. And you'll see this panel here was actually just screwed on, and it was screwed to this here, which is also rotten. And that's if you can you see in there? I'll just get a torch. So there, that there is the floor, the front of the floor, and that's your inside insulation. So I'm going to make up a new one of these, which will attach to here, and it will attach up to the floor all the way through, and then the front panel can come and attach to that, so it'll be nice and sturdy. And we'll just get that folded out of that same galvanized material there, and then I'll just quickly put the hoist down. And you just come around to here, what I'm going to show you. Okay, so just come around here. Oh, the torch makes it worse with that, doesn't it? So this will be cut off about there, and new stuff will come all the way down. This piece of, that's just another piece of galv again. So I'm going to cut that off probably about there, put a new piece on, but I'll make it longer, and I'll attach it into that. And also, if you have a look at that surface rust there, can you see there? I'll put a wire brush on it, and it's solid metal. Okay, it's just surface. So I will put some rust inhibitor on that, then I'll put a new piece of galv on that, and basically that's going to form the structure of all underneath here for our new panel to go onto. And the same time I'm under here, I'll put new light wiring in for the marker lights as well. Sweet. Okay. All right, that's going to be enough for this one. It's already getting pretty long, so we'll carry on with it in the next video. I've got a mate of mine watches my videos, and he always says to me, oh, you finished it just when I was getting into it, but they always say you should keep them around that sort of 20-minute mark, so otherwise people lose attention on it, if that's the right wording. So we're going to finish it here, and yeah, catch you on the next one.